This is Gemara in Kiddushin, Daf Yud Aleph. All the learning for this month, the month of Elul, has been generously sponsored as a Schos Ili Neshama for Esther Rezel Basar of Meir. B'siyata Deshmaya, the learning the entire Chabura should bring Esther Rezel Basar of Meir to a higher in place in Gan Eden Shel Maila. We're in the middle of discussing what stage of a marriage does Bia accomplish? Does it accomplish Erusin or does it accomplish Nisuin? We try to bring a raya, we refuted that raya, now we're in the middle of the same raya. A second reason why the raya is not a raya. Ravina Amar, about 12 lines from the bottom of Yudam and Beis, Midaraisa, says Ravina, really an act of a Bia only does Kiddushin. The Brisa seem to have indicated that it could do even Nisuin. Says Ravina, Midaraisa Mivshab Lei. Ben Bagbag teaches them Midaraisa. One who did Erusin is allowed to eat Truma. Dachla, she's allowed to eat Truma. Umidirabanan, who did Shalach Lei. And that which they responded was only a din derabanan, that she's not allowed to eat until she does Nisuin. Bacha Shalach Lei. And this is what Ben Bagbag center of Yehuda. Shamati alechashata merusavas Yisrael echalos b'truma. I heard that you allow an arusa to eat truma v'lo chayshes l'simpoin, and you're not worried about simpoin. What is simpoin? Rashi over here explains. Rashi about 13 lines to the bottom called Amravatal Davar Kari simpoin. Any way that you could annul something, go back in time, that is called simpoin shaloikigoin. Shoiver have a simpoin shel star, that the shoiver is the simpoin. What's the shoiver? The shoiver is the receipt. B'shnayim oichsin. Mekan and koyra simpoin. Over here we call simpoin what? Davar ha'mevatel es Kiddushin. Something that annuls the Kiddushin. Oisa mekach shalavet. So if anything is annulling that which was, that's going to be simpoin. So we're not afraid over here for a simpoin that's going to invalidate the original Kiddushin. And Shalach Lei, so Rav Yehuda responds back to Ben Baguvata Yitaimer Kain. And are you not worried about this? Machzani b'chat. We have a chazaka about you. Shatabaki b'chadrei Torah. That you know all the secrets of the Torah. Lidresh b'kal v'chaymer. The darshin kal v'chaymer. And yato yedea. You don't know. You don't know the following. The following kal v'chaymer. That what? Uma shivcha kinanis. When it comes to Shivcha Kenan, she'ein bi'asei ma'achilasei b'truma, that her act of bia does not allow her to eat truma yet. Kaspa ma'achilasei b'truma yet. If there was an acquisition through kesef, it does allow her to eat truma. V'loi chayshin alei simbain, and we're not worried that subsequently there's going to go backwards, annul the sale, thereby invalidate her from eating, thereby making the whole purchase not valid. Zu, this case, the case of a wife of Kayin, shebiyasei machilasei b'truma, that if they had bia, then it does allow her to eat truma. Einoi din is not a kal v'chaymer. Shekasbay machilasei b'truma, that via kesef she's going to as well be allowed to eat truma. And as well, we should not be worried about simpoin. We should not be worried that they're going to annul it subsequently. Aval ma'aseh, and the last line of Yudam Beis, what should I do? Shir Amr Chachamim. Chacham have taught us Arusa Bas Yisrael. Eino yecheles b'truma. Even though the Kal V'chaymer should seemingly dictate that she should be allowed to eat truma, l'ma'isa, the Chacham taught us not that way. And as we turn over to Yud Aleph Amud Aleph, the Gemara continues and says, until what point can she not eat truma? Until shetikane the chuppah, until they enter into chuppah. So that was Rav Yehuda's response to Ben Bagbag. So continues Ravina uben Bagbag, and what does Ben Bagbag hold? Explains the Gemara. Simpoin va'avadim leslei. There's no concept. There's no concern of simpoin by the avadim, and that's why there is no raya. Explains the Gemara, why is there no concern of simpoin by avadim? Again, simpoin being that something will be found that will invalidate and annul that which happened originally. Why is there no concern? Explains the Gemara in the second line of Aleph Amid Aleph, Imu min shebegalihu, if with this Eved they find that there was a revealed mum, a mum that you're able to see at plain sight, hakachazile. So you saw it, meaning you were able to see it, you saw it before purchasing this Eved, and either way you purchased the Eved, so you can later claim, oh, I didn't know about it. What do you mean? The mum was right there. And imisha mum shabaseiser, and let's say it's a hidden mum, says the Gemara, this person's an Eved. My nafkla minei. Why do you care if this Eved has a mum in some hidden place? You bought this person for a slave, for an Eved, therefore it doesn't make a difference to you with regard to the work they're going to do, that they have a mum in a hidden place. It doesn't make a difference to you. What else are you going to say? Maybe nimsaganiv oikab yostis. Maybe this Eved that you just purchased was found to be a ganif, a thief, or a kidnapper. Higiu. This as well would not make the sale not valid. Why? Because still you purchased the Eved and it's yours. My Amrit. What are you going to claim? Listen, Mizuyim. What are you going to claim, that this Eved was an armed robber or was conscripted to the king? That's the only case that you could potentially say that your sale is not valid. But even in that case, Hanu Kala Islahu, such people, armed robbers, people that are conscripted to the king, everyone knows about them, and therefore there will be no potential sin point. So the reason why Ben Bagbag holds is no raya from this case is because it would only be a raya kal v'chomer if there was a potential sin point, and we wouldn't be worried about it by an Eved. Then we could prove to that to the case of the wife of the Kohen. But because over here there's no potential sin point, there is no raya. Says the Gemara, Mechti. Let's understand what Ravina is saying. Bein Lamar, whether it's Ben Bagbag, Bein Lamar, whether Rav Yehuda, Loi Achla, a woman who did Eris into a Kohen should not be allowed to eat Truma. My Beinayu. So what's the difference in these two ways of explaining? Says the Gemara, the Chilik is, he could be now Kibul Masar V'Halach, if it's going to be where the Kohen accepted whether she has any issues, or Masar, the father delivered the daughter, Oy Shalach, it was delivered with an agent, with a Shliach. Those will be the cases in which there will be a nafkamina between the answer of Rav Yehuda and Ben Bagbag. And that is the second and final way of proving that there was no raya, whether Bia did Nisuin, which is what the prices seem to indicate. And with that, the Gemara ends off. We don't end with a raya either way. And now we continue about 10 lines down, the two dots of Yud Aleph Amud Aleph, Bekesef, Beishami Omer B'Dinar or B'Shava Dinar. The Mishnah explained what is Kesef, a dinner or a Shava dinner. My Taimayu. Says the Gemara, where does Beitemayu to Beishamai? Where does Beishamai says his din that you need a dinner? Beis Hillel said you need a pruta. Beishamai said a dinner. Where does Beishamai get it from? Omer Rav Zeirosh Kenisha Makpedes Alatzma. That is the amount that a woman is makben herself. Ve'ein miskadesh as bachs me dinar. Says Rav Zeir, you know where Beishamai got a dinar from? Because that's what a woman evaluates herself as, and she'll never give herself over for less than a dinar. Amr le Abaye, so Abaye responds to Rav Zeir, Elamiatiko and Benasei to Rav Yanai. What are you going to say about the daughters of Rav Yanai? They captain and Avshayo, they're makban of herself, Lamakachi bachas mitar kafta de dinri, that they're never to come marry less than 3 kav of dinarim achanami. This as well, di pashti yadav v'kibla. Let's say such a girl, such a high roller, even though normally she would evaluate herself at nothing less than 3 kav of dinarim. Let's say she accepted a zuz achanami glavi Kiddushin, meaning who cares what they normally would evaluate themselves at? If she accepted Kiddushin for whatever value it was, there should be Kiddushin, and if not, then these daughters of Rav Yanai would never be able to get married. Amar lei, so Abai responds, Eino chanami. Pashta yadav kibla lekamina. I'm not talking about a case where she went and she accepted a Kiddushin. Such a scenario, Eino chanami. You're right, if she accepted Kiddushin, then of course it will be a Kiddushin. Kikamina, what are you referring to? The kid Shabelayla. She got married at night, Dinami de Shavi Shliach, or she sent a Shliach. So either she got married at night and therefore she's not able to see that what she got is less than a dinner. Meaning if she knows that she's getting less than a dinner and she accepted it, that's fine. But let's say it's nighttime that she doesn't know. Or let's say she does it through a shliach. Those are going to be the cases that Beis Shammai is teaching us that the minimum is going to be a dinar. Teretz number 1. Teretz of Rav Zera, that where did dinner come from? Because that is the value that a woman would normally accept. Rav Yosef Amar, 7 lines from the bottom, Tamayot de Beis Shammai, Kid Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Asi, a different answer. The Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Asi, called Kesef Amar Rav HaTorah, Kesef Suri, Shal Devreim, Kesef Medina. Anytime the Torah talks about Kesef, it's Kesef Suri, Shkalim, and remember it says in the Rabbanan, that's Kesef Medina, and Rashi points out Kesef Medina is going to be an eighth of Kesef Suri, and that is where we're going to come up with the number of a dinner, which is as well an eighth of the Kesef Suri. So it says the Gemara Gufa. Let's go a little bit deeper into that which we just said. 3 lines to the bottom of Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. Amar Rav Yudah Amar Rav Asi Kol Kesef Amar Bater Kesef Suri Shal Devreim Kesef Medina. Asks the Gemara the last words of Yud Aleph Amud Aleph Klalu. Is this really a klal, a rule that any time the Torah says Kesef is Kesef Suri? And we turn over to Yud Aleph Amud Beis and ask the Gemara of Taina. But what about when it comes to someone admitting to part of a claim? It says in the pasuk, Ki yitein ish el rei. A man will give to his friend Kesef oy kelim lishmar. A man will give to his friend either silver or utensils to watch. Utanan, and we learned that what is the minimum amount that is in the discussion of this Mishnah that says that if someone's going to give his friend Kesef oy kelim, utanan shvus adayanim atayna shtei kesef oda shava pruta. So we see it's even less than a dinner. It's even a tayna of shtei kesef. Explains the Gemara, hasam dumya de kelim. Over there, the pasuk said kitin ishal reu kesef oy kelim. So we're learning out that the kesef in that pasuk is not the generic kesef that we're talking about by us, but rather kesef is going to be similar to kelim. Ma kelim shnayim, just like kelim is plural referring to 2. Av kesef is going to be shnayim. Or ma kesef davar chashiv. Av kelim is going to be davar chashiv. So ask the Gemara. Okay, so you answered up one answer about kesef, but ask the Gemara further 6 lines down of Yud Aleph Amud Beis, or a meiser. But with regard to meiser, the pasuk used the word kesef as well. V'sarta kesef biyodecha, you'll bind up the kesef in your hand. Utanana, we learned apayrit sel mimais meiser sheni. Someone exchanges a sela for the money of meiser sheni, it's going to work. So what do we see? We see that it doesn't have to be kesef. It doesn't actually have to be silver. Answers the Gemara, kesef ha kesef riba. That by meiser sheni particularly, it says kesef, it says ha kesef. That extra hay comes to include even a chayshes, even copper coins. Ask the Gemara further, what about a hektish? Or a hektish, says, and you give kesef for a hektish. Of Amar Shmuel, and Shmuel explains, hektish shava mana. We have hektish that's worth of money, shechillah yal shava pruta, that you transferred over to something worth a pruta. Mechulal, it works. So what do we see? We see as well that even though Torah used the word kesef, it's not actually referring to silver, as it can even be something worth a shava pruta. Answers the Gemara, hasam nami kesef kesef yalef. The actual mention of the word kesef. Yalef mi meiser. Actually mention the word kesef connects it to meiser, and therefore it's even less than kesef. Vari kedusha isha. Ask Gemara further, what do you mean? What about kedusha isha? The save our story. Ki yekach ish isha uba'ala. V'gamar kicha kicha mistei afroin. We learned already back in Daf Beis. Kicha kicha fraud in the purchase of afroin. Utanan beisila oimim b'pruta v'shaveh pruta. And beisila learns that how much is the minimum for Kiddushin of pruta. Neymar Ravasi Damar Kibei Shammai. So Ravashi seemingly is not saying like Basil, it's only saying like Beis Shammai that it has to be kesef, a silver dinar. Whereas Beis Hillel in the Mishnah said a pruta, a shava pruta, so it's very shver that Rav Ashi is coming out to learn only like Beis Shammai. Explains the Gemara, Eli Yitmar, Achi Yitmar, Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav Asi, called Kesef Kotzav Aimer Batayra Kesef Suri. Any specific amount, any clearly delineated amount of Kesef in the Torah is Kesef Suri. Shal Divrayim, when it's going to be a Din Darabanan, then it's going to be Kesef Medina. And that is how the Gemara defends that Rav Ashi can even fit with Beis Hillel in our Mishnah. Says the Gemara, and with this we conclude, My Kamash Malon. What is Rav Ashi's Chiddush? My Kamash Malon. Tanina already learned in the Mishnah. Chamesh Slaim Shal Ben, the 5 Slaim to redeem one son, Pinyan Ben, Shleishim Shal have the 30 Slaim that you have to pay. If your ox scored an Eved, Chamishim Shaloinis Mefate, the 50 Slaim one has to pay if he's Ma'anes or Mefate. A Naira, Meya, the 100 Kesef that someone has to pay. Shalmaitzi Shemra, if he defames his newly married wife. Kulam, in all of these cases, B'shekel HaKodesh B'mana Tzuri. In all these cases, says the Brisa, what type of currency do you use? Shekel HaKodesh Mana Tzuri. So what do we see? Seems that seemingly this is the makar, that kesef is such a currency, and Rav Ashi seemingly is just reiterating and explaining that which we already know, that kesef is kesef amor b'kesef atayra is manatzuri. So why is Rav Ashi repeating that which we already know? V'shal divrayim answers the Gemara. V'shal divrayim kesef medina itzrichalei. The chiddush of Rav Ashi, you're right, is not about the kesef suri part. Chiddush is about the Kesef Medina, Deloi Tinan, because that was not listed in the Mishnah. So that is the Chiddush of Rav Ashi. And we conclude with the Gemara explaining Titania, as we learned in a Brisa. If someone blows into his friend's ear and makes him deaf, he has to pay a selah. Veloi Tema, my selah. Rav Ashi teaches one should not say what type of selah, Arba Zuzi, one that's worth 4 zuz. Alamai selo, rather, what does it mean? Selo palga de zuzah, half a zuz, Davidi inshi, dekari la palga de zuzah istra, and that's the chiddush of Rav Ashi. That's what Rav Ashi has to repeat his din, even though seemingly it was learned in the Mishnah. That's the chiddush why Rav Ashi repeats his din. Stop over here. We're going to pick it up for a third reason why, according to Beis Shammai, that you need a dinar for Kiddushin. Siyata de Shemaya on the next shiur.